Chapter 761. Despite this being her first time, even someone at the sanctuary level like her was struggling to match Wilbur's stamina. Yumi felt like she had just recovered from a terrible sickness and could hardly even get out of bed. She did, however, feel rather pleased. Master Pen had taken her, and she had no regrets about letting someone like Wilbur be her first. Yumi would be satisfied regardless of how Wilbur treated her after this. Wilbur returned to the room after his shower. He was about to say something to Yumi when the phone rang. He saw who it was and picked it up at once. A brief pause later, his expression darkened as he hung up the phone and said to Yumi, "Get me on the next flight back to Seachertown. I need to go back." "What's the matter, Master Pen? Are you in that much of a rush?" Yumi could hardly bear to part with Wilbur. Her expression creased with wistfulness. Wilbur's voice was low. "Someone's after me, and they're out for revenge. My friends are in danger." Yumi did not dare say anything more after that, booking the flight tickets at once. A while later, however, Yumi said, "The next flight is at 11 in the morning tomorrow." Wilbur fell silent for a beat. He nodded and began putting his clothes on. "Where are you going, Master Pen?" It was late in the night then, and Yumi was a little confused by Wilbur's actions. Wilbur adjusted his shirt. "I have some things to do. You get some rest." Despite the words being so simple, they still warmed Yumi's heart. Wilbur headed for the door. Yumi stared at his back for a while before ducking under the covers completely. A series of giggles filled the air, hidden under the sheets. Wilbur left the hotel and called for a cab to take him to the Imperial Palace. Upon his arrival, he took a good look at the sprawling palace. That was where the royal family lived, a huge piece of land over 10 hectares wide in the middle of Q City. The palace was surrounded by a moat and high walls. The buildings inside were vaguely visible behind the walls. They were not very tall, but they seemed countless in number. Wilbur looked around for a while before walking up to the palace gates and knocking softly. There was no response. The guards were probably asleep. After all, these were peaceful times. The guards were just there for show most of the time. Wilbur straightened up and headed right into the palace. The sprawling palace was dead silent in the middle of the night, save for the sounds of insects every now and then. Wilbur walked across the grassy plains and the gardens, stopping in front of a huge hall in the middle. "By the way, guys, I was expecting Faye to be Wilbur's first. He always tried to hold back his urges when he was with Faye. I was surprised he did it with Yumi. Faye was definitely not uglier. Let me know what you think why Wilbur was okay doing it with Yumi first. Anyway, let's continue." Just then, the door of the hall opened as Zenith walked out of it. "You made it?" "I sure did. Did you knock?" "I knocked." "Good. Come with me. His Majesty hasn't gone to bed yet." Zenith took a step to the side, making a way for Wilbur to come in. The two of them walked past several rooms, making their way over to an independent room in the middle of the hall. Zenith bowed in front of the door. "Your Majesty, Mr. Pen is here." A while later, the door of the room opened up. Emperor Tyler walked out with a wide grin on his face. He was wearing sleeping robes and a pair of wooden clogs on his feet. "You were crazy out there, Pen. I saw a video of that battle, and I think you might just be the most powerful sanctuary-level cultivator there is." Emperor Tyler chuckled, reaching out to Wilbur with both hands. "This emperor doesn't act like one at all, does he?" Wilbur thought to himself.